Last week's Haftorah for Parshat Truma was about the corollary to the Mishkan, Mikdash Shlomo, the home that Shlomo HaMelech built on Har Habayit. For Parshat Tetzaveh, the Haftorah is the other corollary of the Mishkan, namely the Beit Mikdash Ha'atid, the Mikdash of Yechezkel that he predicts will come in the third Commonwealth and will signal the culmination of human history. So the link to the Parsha is quite obvious. Just as we have the measurements of the Mishkan, so too Shlomo and Yechezkel detail the measurements of their respective Mikdashot. There is a particular piece that Yechezkel emphasizes that weighs in on the fundamental question about the core purpose of the Mishkan / Mikdash. Rav Lichtenstein, Zichrono Livracha, often cited the dispute between the Ramban and the Rambam about the essence of the Mikdash. Was it about the Shekhinah, the presence of Hashem as represented through the Kodesh, represented through the Luchot in the Aron, in the Kodesh HaKadoshim? That is option one, as the Ramban says that it was really a continuation of the experience at Har Sinai, and this was a container that gave a perpetual sense of that experience. And on the other side is the Rambam, who says that the fundamental or critical aspect of the Mishkan or Mikdash is the Mizbeach. That's why the Beit HaMikdash was positioned where it was on Har Habayit, which was the place where the first Korban of Adam Harishon and Noach and Avraham took place. It was a location that was renowned for the sacrifices that man makes in order to get closer to his or her creator. So the way that Yechezkel weighs into this debate is by emphasizing first the dimensions of the Mizbeach. In the middle of Perek Mem Gimel, Yechezkel describes the dimensions of the future Beit HaMikdash, and first he says that it will surround the Kodesh HaKadoshim, Zot Harat Habayit al Rosh Hahar Kol Givulo Saviv Saviv Kodesh Kadoshim Hine Zot Harat Habayit. So indeed, the instructions are meant to be are meant to describe the mountain that will surround the focal point of the Kodesh HaKadoshim. But instead of going on to describe what the contents of the Kodesh HaKadoshim and the dimensions of the ark, as we might have expected, and as is the order in the Torah, the prophet here describes the dimensions of the Mizbeach first and foremost, and really goes into the greatest detail about the Mizbeach, about the different components, the corners, the ledges of the Mizbeach, and also renames the Mizbeach here in Pasuk Tetvav, the Ha'arel Arba Amot, that this structure, the Mizbeach, should be 4 amot wide, and this is the Har'el. Har'el, of course, means the mountain of God. And typically we think about the mountain of God in terms of the Mikdash as being connected to Har Sinai and its continuation through the specific kli of the Aron. But the suggestion here is that it's really the Mizbeach that is the continuity of that legacy of the mountain of God, and that's what is the anchor of the connection between us and our Creator. So we see in the a parallel between our Parsha and our Haftorah, not just a corollary of the Mishkan and the Mikdash, but a little bit of a repositioning of the emphasis of the Mikdash Haba'ah. That if the Mishkan, perhaps in its proximity to Har Sinai, emphasized the role of the Kodesh HaKadoshim and the Luchot and the Aron, perhaps the Mikdash emphasizes more about we as humans, what we can do to draw ourselves closer to Hashem through the Mizbeach. Wishing everyone a wonderful rest of the day.